Okay. Describe violence as you have experienced it.
When I was younger, CNA, at 17 years old, 16 or 17, I had a patient with Alzheimer's, dementia. He had a prosthetic leg, and we used to have to take him and put him in the bathroom and toilet him and get him ready for bed. And the other nursing assistant and I were trying to put him on the toilet. He doesn't realize what's happening. He's trying to fight us. He's swinging and lunging at us as we're trying to set him on the toilet. He hit my coworker in the temple. So
Don't get distracted by the recording. Here.
So we just
stick to the question. Keep going. Describe violence as you have experienced
we
it.
pulled the call light for help. My coworker had to leave because she was hurt. We got the patient calmed down, another nurse and I, just talking to him, trying to explain to him what we were doing softly. The nurse had to come in and give him some medication.
So physical violence, what else?
Verbal, screaming, yelling, by family members that had come in to see their family.
Okay.
One family member was drunk and came in and just started going off on us, on me, spit in my face. I called for the nurse, and they called the police. He was escorted out of the facility. Another situation, I had a patient that I worked in internal medicine. I was older, probably in my 30s.
No, because you're a 30-year-old nurse right now. 37, so.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll just cut that.
So I was working for an internal medicine doctor. He was on vacation. And it was a policy in our office that other doctors could not write prescriptions for his morphine or oxycodone. Patients. He was on the phone with me for a long time. I did talk to the other doctor working there. He made an exception to bring him in for an appointment that day. The patient came in irate at the front office staff, went behind the desk where medical records were, which is a big no-no. They asked him to please go sit in the front. He did. He kept demanding to see the doctor right now, and he was with a patient. I went out and spoke to him and told him that the doctor would be right with him. I called him back to a room, got his vitals. I knocked on the door, explained to the doctor, pulled him out of the room, explained what was going on. He said he'd be right there. The patient told me I smelled. And kept asking where the doctor was and getting more and more verbally abusive to me. I excused myself from the room. I went and got an LPN, another nurse, to come in to calm him down, to take over, because it was escalating with me. He was escalating and angry at me, taking it out on me in the room. I was explaining how we worked him in. The doctor was very busy as he was alone, and that we had accommodated him and worked him in. But he still kept getting more irate, demanding to see the doctor right now. So I pulled the doctor from the room. The doctor came in. He got irate with the doctor, was trying to look at a patient's chart on the way out. We had the doctor escorted him out of the clinic. The front office, he said he was going to the police station, left erratically.
What does that look like?
Storming out the door, got in his car, drove up over the curb. My front office had to hit the police call button. He did go to the police station. We did nothing wrong. He threatened us. He threatened all of us. He threatened me. He threatened my staff.
Okay.
And we had to notify my office manager, and she had to notify the CEO of the corporation. They had to get a restraining order against him again, for me and my protection, and for the rest of the staff in the clinic. He was not allowed around me or back at the clinic ever again. And they had to get a lawyer and go through all that. The next day, and the girls, they walked me out to my car. We walked each other out to our cars every day after work and in the morning because we were afraid.
Would you say that's like an act of kindness that you guys did for each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Safety.
Safety. Okay.
Yes. The next day, this huge basket of probably over, hundreds of flowers showed up at my work with a card from him apologizing to me and the staff. But
Big girl.
my office manager still had to proceed and go forward because of the threats he made to me and the staff with the restraining order.
If you're working in an emergency room, it wouldn't be an office manager. What would it be called? Just like if you word it correctly.
Security.
Okay, but who would your manager be in the emergency room?
The doctor.
Okay, you guys don't have like a...
Administrator. No, it would be the doctor, the nurse, the doctor,
You do have like administrator.
yeah, CEO, administrators of each floor. There's an administrator,
Okay.
like director of nurses.
Director of nurses. There.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's go to the next question. So, what systems are in place at work to minimize violence? So, like in the emergency room, what do you have to minimize violence?
They have signs posted now everywhere.
Okay, so there's signs.
Yes, no weapons allowed. Violence against a healthcare worker is a felony.
Okay.
There are codes if a patient becomes irate or combative. Code green used to be in
this
place.
is part of your training.
Yes.
Okay.
That code, once it's called, usually the males from each floor designated would come down and assist the situation with an irate patient.
So if there's an irate patient and you call a certain code,
Then yes,
then all of those designated males on the floor.
yes, and women and males,
Yeah, the designated.
yes,
Okay.
would come to assist.
So you have every shift. There's somebody who's designated to.
Code green, yes. Implemented person on every shift to go on that code.
And that's part of like the safety procedures
Yes.
and protocols. Okay.
Yes,
Is there a certain name for that?
it was called a code green.
But like the procedures or like the protocol or like the rule book of it.
yes,
What's the?
in the manual.
Okay, I've got. So okay, safety manual.
Yes.
Okay.
There is a manual in place on every unit,
Okay.
every
So if somebody
department.
walks into the emergency room, what other ways do you guys like? What other things are there to promote or to minimize the any violence?
Security guards.
Okay.
Yes. Security guards.
Okay. And then would you say that only allowing like one visitor right now during COVID would be one of those things, like to minimize violence?
Yes, and also only on critical care floors in ICU, only one visitor to two visitors are allowed at this time. As before, back in the day, the whole family would come in the room.
Okay.
So they've minimized that, especially in the critical care units.
Okay.
And
Just
NER.
specifically in ER.
ER, critical care, ICU.
Okay,
Only
and
so many people are allowed.
What time did the doors lock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Even in the emergency room. What time do visitors, do you guys not allow visitors in the emergency room? It's just
Well,
open?
it's open all
Okay.
night. Usually one person is allowed to go back with them. That's it.
Okay. And then do you guys have, police officers?
Yes.
So
Security.
Okay. Does that, up at night? Do you, increase the security?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go to this one. A2. Explain what safety precautionary measures are taken when violence occurs and for what different acts of violence. So I guess you did with the code green. You
Yeah.
explained that with the code green.
And the manuals are set in place,
Okay.
and security is there to escort them out of the building.
Okay. And then you also said something about like violence or like fire, like say active shooter, right? Instance of active shooter. What have you guys learned?
Evacuation plans.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Evacuation plan.
Okay. And
the most critical, you take the patients, just like...
patients first. Yeah, you evacuate patients.
Evacuate the patients that can ambulate first. The ones that are bedridden, no. The ones that can be pushed in a wheelchair, maybe. You have to carry them down the stairs.
Okay.
But you take the people that can walk first.
Okay. A3, what is your definition of violence?
Verbal abuse. Physical abuse. What else?
No, it's okay. Just in conversation. Like if I'm a 6-year-old and you're telling me what violence is, what is violence?
When someone lays their hands on you, they touch you, they push you, they spit on you, throw feces at you, vomit,
Okay.
something. When they do something inappropriate to you, even sexual harassment, like grabbing your butt.
Or make threats.
Or making threats towards you and your family or your coworkers.
Feel physically harmed.
Correct.
Or emotionally.
Right. Swearing, cussing, threatening your life.
Okay.
Demeaning you. Yes.
Okay. Okay, now, new subject. Describe kindness as you have experienced it.
Kindness you do unto others as you would want done to you. You treat other people how
as you have experienced it.
I have received kindness through my patients.
Okay.
By hugs, love, support, like cookies or bringing in candies or a thank you card or a kind word.
Okay.
Appreciation and gratitude from them and being thanked.
Okay, what about from your 2 sons? Describe kindness as you have experienced it.
My 2 sons.
Or kids in the emergency room. How do kids show kindness?
Through hugs and smiles and
okay.
Yes, and their eyes light up and they're happy to see you.
Okay, next. B1. How would you define kindness from a personal understanding?
Kindness is something you give out without any expectations.
Okay.
Be kind no matter what. If someone is mean to you, you always be kind.
Okay.
They may be having a bad day. They may be going through cancer. They may be sick.
Okay.
So you still have to be kind and take that into consideration.
Okay.
They may be having a bad day.
Okay, so I'm a 6-year-old. How you're telling me how to be kind? What is kindness? What does it look
holding the door open for someone.
Okay.
Small gestures.
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Shaking someone's hand. Smiling.
Manners, smiles. Okay. Acts of kindness. Okay. Yes. Next. How would you define kindness from a professional standpoint?
Professional standpoint.
Yeah. You're a nurse in the ER.
Yeah, you have to be cheerful and every day and smile. And even if you're having a bad day, you cannot show that. Because you're there for the patients, not for yourself. You have to leave that at home.
Okay.
You have to leave your personal stuff at home and focus on the patient and be kind and happy and
but
to everybody.
Be kind. What does that mean?
Being friendly.
Okay. Being
cheerful, smiling, complimenting. Yes, and accommodating.
Okay. And then what about from like management, how, like, have they shown kindness? Or how would you define kindness that you've seen them, like taking the coworkers, taking everybody out to...
Ordering pizza. We had a doctor order
okay.
us food. A doctor. We used
It's
to...
on your birthday. Just a simple thank
Just
you.
a simple thank you. We used to have a board in our break room, and it was called Kudos, kindness you do unto others, and people would write notes about you and pin them up there on the board.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. Okay, next. Give an example of how kindness is displayed between two staff members.
Teamwork and helping each other, working together.
Okay.
Respecting each other's boundaries.
Like space,
personal space, working together.
Covering each other's shifts.
Yes, covering each other's shifts, covering each other's backs. Like,
seeing if you can help with anything.
yeah. If you're overwhelmed, asking another person to help you, and vice versa.
Okay. And then give an example of kindness between a staff member and a patient. You already did that. Okay, got it. And then last one. In what ways do your team leaders display, promote, and encourage kindness? So how are they leading by example?
By their behavior, by example, by being kind to the patients, going above and beyond.
Being kind to staff?
Yes. Caring, loving.
Putting in the extra hours
Yes. Putting in,
to help.
going above and beyond of what they're expected to do.
Okay.
Going that extra mile when they don't have to. Staying after a shift, to finish up paperwork, to help someone, to finish.
Okay, and then how would you say that they've displayed or promoted kindness out into the community? Like your management team or administration? Like by donating, raising money,
Yes.
blood drives, stuff like that. What have they done to show kindness or give kindness back to the community?
Oh, well, I know that my doctor would read the obituaries, and anytime a patient passed away, he would call with condolences to their family.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Reaching out to them, checking on them if you haven't heard from them, following up on a patient's care and to see how they're doing at home.
And that's what administration would do? Like your bosses and their bosses?
My doctor.
Okay.
But
you're
also
working in an ER, so.
Also having me do it as well.
Okay.
Reaching out, following up on a patient.
So they are encouraging patient follow-up and follow through to check on the welfare
And well-being of the
and well-being
patient.
of patients. And they're encouraging you to do that, but they're also leading and doing it themselves.
Yes.
Okay. Done. Love you. Thank you so much.
I hope it helps.
Come again.